Hey! Hey! Okay, wait. Let me just redo this again. Hey! How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to I think I said Trick or Treat Thursday or something like that. I'm starting to run out of names, guys. It's kind of crazy. So we're here. We're gathered here today. I'm still not feeling 100%, but I figured I've already missed a day of stream, and I already missed a whole week's worth of stream last week. The consistency is working. It's happening. Slowly but surely, it's happening. If you're wondering why my lips look like this, I literally just put on chapstick. But yeah, we are here, guys, and we're gonna have a good time today. I'm playing some Resident Evil today. I'm gonna watch some scary stories, and then maybe, just maybe, I'll play some Fortnite. On that note, guys, how's everyone doing today? Thursday. Finally, right? I don't want to say it, because the last time I said it, I like, cursed myself, and somehow I've been in hell ever since. But maybe if I say it, it'll reverse the curse. Happy Friday, Junior, everyone. Alright, we're good. We're good for now. To be honest with you guys, I haven't even prepped any videos yet. But I think we said we were just gonna watch some Nexpo stuff. Let me see. What the hell? The man who lived inside of a dead body. Okay, that looks interesting. I'm like morbidly curious. Haha, get it? Morbidly. And then, let's see. The Halloween Candy Killer, but that's 42 minutes. I don't got time for that. So I did actually want to say, like, yesterday was earlier today actually was a very interesting day. So I was just looking on Xbox for like, because I was curious. I have Game Pass, right? Like, I have Game Pass, and I said, let me go ahead and take a look, see if there's just like any game for me to like play, because truth be told, I'm running out of games that I can play by myself that are like scary or horror related. And I was admittedly thinking of playing Dead Space, but then it was like full price on Steam, and I was like, I don't want to pay full price for the game, and I don't want to commit a crime. So I was like, so what am I gonna do? You know, like, I don't want to let you guys down. I want to make sure I'm playing some sort of scary game. So I look on Xbox Game Pass, which I pay monthly for, by the way. And I don't really use it, except that I have like 4 games from it that like are on my desktop that I am interested in playing, but just have not played them yet. So then I look and I'm like, holy shit, there's a whole ass library here. Like, there's a whole like large library of games to play, and this is not sponsored. I would love to be sponsored by Xbox Game Pass, but there's a whole library there, and it is actually large. So I got it all settled. So we're gonna be playing Dead Space. We're also, you know, like I said, we're gonna play Resident Evil today. We're gonna play some Dead Space sometime next week. I believe also we're gonna be playing a game that I've been dying to play. Haha, get it? Dying. We're gonna be playing Alice Madness Returns, which came out on the 360 and PS3. But it's pretty much a spin on Alice in Wonderland. But I've been dying to play it, and it is you know, gory horror something themed Alice in Wonderland. So I'm excited. Let's see. And there are a bunch of other games also, like Doom Eternal. I was also thinking about playing. We also, like I said, we do have the Fear games, so we can also play those eventually on Steam. We have Observation Duty, which I still have to play. We could play the Backrooms, but I would like to have a team to actually play the Backrooms, so that might actually have to wait for a bit until I actually like have more people around. And same with Dead by Daylight and Friday the 13th. I could easily just hit up Eddie and we could play Dead by Daylight. But I don't want to bother him also. So we'll get to it eventually. I think before the end of the month, I'd like to play at least one game of Dead by Daylight with him. So realistically, I'm like, Xbox Game Pass just saved my entire life. Like, honestly, I was about to buy a lot of these games, and now I'm not going to, because I don't need to. I just have Xbox Game Pass. I caved, I downloaded Overwatch 2. Look, here's the thing, guys. I really did not want to play Overwatch 2. And you know, Blizzard as a company, Activision Blizzard, has just gone downhill, man. Like, I cannot, like, and literally just came out there was some very problematic things that were happening there. Literally just, like, 5 hours ago, the article came out. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, do I really want to play Overwatch? Like, I quit Overwatch a long time ago because of the initial reports of, like, problematic things happening. But right now, I'm still in the same boat. But I noticed everyone and their mother is playing Overwatch too, and I remember loving Overwatch back in the day. Like, I was a Bastion main, for anyone wondering. So I could literally play Overwatch for hours. I might. And I was looking at my Apex account, and I'm like, I apparently logged in 56 hours worth of Apex time, and I'm like, when did I play 56 hours worth of Apex Legends? So, we're gonna also eventually play some Apex, get back into it. Of course, more Valorant, more, you know, some more Fortnite. You know, we'll get back into it slowly but surely, and we'll be, of course, diversifying as much as possible. Of course, like I have a huge library of games that I love to try out for you guys. So you know, the journey is still starting, but we're hitting it strong. The consistency is fire. Do I look too white? There we go. That's a little more natural. But yeah, I'm excited, guys, and I can't wait to see what else is in store. Let's go ahead and let's just find that last video that we're gonna watch, so we could get it out of the way. Yeah, as you guys can see, I am still very sick, but I did, like, test it. I mean, I did test earlier, and I am negative, so that's the good news. Oh, we are not sponsored by Coke Zero, as always, and I don't have a Coke Zero today, but I have a Diet Coke, which I drink most of. So, Coca-Cola. If you send me Coke Zero, I will drink it on stream, and I really hope that you sponsor me. I don't remember what day it is, but you know what? I'm gonna choose a random day. This is day 17 of asking Coke Zero to sponsor me. Alright, let's see. It's funny because I was looking at Twitch earlier, and every single one of my favorite streamers is streaming, so I'm like, is Thursday just, like, the day to stream? Like, I feel like everyone is streaming today. There are so many good videos. Like, one of them, the bottom of the disturbing Reddit post iceberg, but I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna just write Nexpo again. Thing is, his videos are really long. Like, I love Nexpo, but, like, 35 minutes worth of stuff is a lot. Is David Crowley, right? Nick Crowley, my bad. Where'd I get David from? Alright, I got the internet's darkest corners from 11 months ago. Alright, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. Play these videos. No fucking way. Don't do this to me. I told you guys, ever since I said Thursday is Friday Junior, my entire life has gone haywire. I really don't want to have to restart this, guys. I don't want to restart stream. Because that means I have to edit, and I really don't want to edit. Alright, I'm gonna just wait till it responds. Let me see if I could change. No! I can't change scenes either. Man, that sucks. Alright, let me see. I'm just trying to see if I'm still live. I'm still live. I'm just trying to see if I'm still live. See? Alright, wait. I really don't want to have to restart the stream. But like I said, this is gonna happen. Alright, I'll see you guys in a bit. Hi. I'm alive. I really don't want to have to edit this, but I'm gonna have to. But it's fine. These things happen. They are a thing that happen. Alright. Let me go ahead and... like I said, guys, I'm just sick out of my fucking mind, man. It's like that day when, like...
This video.
It's like that day when you're sick that, like, you can feel yourself somewhat getting better, but then your body is just trying to remove everything from you. You know? Like, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm gonna turn off the music. I'm gonna lower the lights, too, so we can get all spoopy. Alright. Let me see. There's an interacting, right? I can just interact, right? No!
It was sponsored by Klima. After an accident at
I'm
work,
gonna stop touching
a
it.
man was transported to the hospital for severe radiation poisoning. He recalled seeing a blue flash and throwing up immediately afterward. At first, medical staff believed he was fine. One even thought he would be well enough.
Alright, I think I'm gonna have to restart stream again. Okay, see you in a bit. I'm back. Let's hope nothing happens. Okay? Third time's a charm. But you know what? I'm telling you the truth. I cursed myself when I said... I'm not gonna say it anymore. But it's the younger version of tomorrow. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. For the last time I said it, my entire setup broke. And I've been on a good streak. The last, like, 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I haven't had an issue. Until I said it, and now my computer decides it wants to break down. Anyways, we're back. Let's watch this thing that I've been dying to watch. Haha, get it? Anyways, alright, let's get started.
This video is sponsored by Klima. After an accident at work, a man was transported to the hospital for severe radiation poisoning. He recalled seeing a blue flash and throwing up immediately afterward. At first, medical staff believed he was fine. One even thought he would be well enough to leave the hospital. Despite his outward appearance, the man's body was slowly changing, pushing doctors to apply a number
I don't know if
of
this is
experimental
actually
procedures
scary.
to save what was left of him. The human body is perhaps the most complex machine on Earth. An urban myth says that your cells replace themselves every 7 years, leaving behind the old you for a completely new person.
Got it.
Although we're capable of healing ourselves to a certain extent, this is not completely true. What would happen if we lost the ability to regenerate cells? And how much time would we have before our body is no longer considered alive? This is the story of Hisashi Ouchi, the most irradiated man in history, his family who couldn't let him go, and his 3-month-long battle for survival in a body falling apart at the seams. And with that out of the way, let's get into it.
I guess it's not really a scary
us
video.
as a species to wean off fossil fuels. And nowadays, reducing our carbon footprint is more important than ever. Hey, you look different. Thanks to Klima, the sponsor of our video.
Okay.
Actions of climate-conscious individuals everywhere.
Alright.
We're closer than ever to the best timeline. Klima? What's that? Klima is an affordable monthly subscription service that helps you offset your carbon footprint by providing support to tree planting programs, green energy initiatives, and other projects that improve lives across the world. I do want to learn more about climate healthy living. Klima makes it easy to educate yourself and go carbon neutral. You can calculate your footprint in less than 3 minutes and start funding strategies that capture carbon and reduce emissions. Your money will go to support communities across the globe. help the environment, and you get to do your part to make the world a better place. It's a win-win-win. I've been trying to use less energy heating my home. I even got solar panels last year. That's great. Klima's priority is to help us make small lifestyle changes to the climate future we want to see. Go carbon neutral with us. Get Klima today and get 10 extra trees planted in your name. Just hit the link in the description and enter the code BREW10 to claim your trees and support our channel.
I'm trying to
We
figure
can
out
make
how to
our
do this.
planet a better place. Together. The Tokaimura nuclear plant was commissioned in 1988 in the small Japanese fishing village of Tokai. It was operated by JCO, formerly known as the Japan Nuclear Fuel Conversion Company, established in 1979. For 10 years, the nuclear plant supplied sundry research and experimental reactors
turn off
for the
captions.
Japanese scientific
Okay.
community, but wasn't part of the actual energy grid. The plant produced up to 3 tons of enriched uranium per year up until the accident in September 1999. Workers would dissolve uranium oxide powder using nitric acid in a dissolution tank, then pump the resulting substance, now called uranyl nitrate, into a storage column built with specific reaction-preventing geometry for mixing. Then, workers would pump the no exothermically reacting uranyl nitrate into a precipitation tank surrounded by water to cool it off, keeping it from hitting critical mass. However, a measly 3 years prior, in 1996, the company's standards had been changed without the express clearance of the Japanese Energy Authority, a change that would have a significant impact on the workers tasked to mix the nuclear material. Instead of dissolving the uranium oxide in the dissolution tank, workers were to just do it in stainless steel buckets to speed up the process. In addition to that, it was modified further, trading safety for speed, by pouring the uranyl nitrate directly into the precipitation tank. Instead of mixing the substance in the storage column, it would happen in the precipitation tank instead, bypassing the systems intended to prevent criticality. Put simply, workers were asked to ignore the first and second tanks, the ones made specifically to prevent accidents, dissolve the uranium by hand, and then pour it into the final tank like it was a uranium latte. Sounds safe, doesn't it? On the morning of the 30th of September, 1999, nuclear workers Hisashi Ouchi and Masato Shinohara were mixing up a batch of fuel, while their supervisor, Yutaka Yokokawa, sat at his desk about 4 meters away. Ouchi and Shinohara were supposed to mix up 2.4 kilos of enriched uranium. But instead, they were manually mixing up 16 kilos of the nuclear substance in the aforementioned steel
Okay,
buckets. This was, as we mentioned before, wildly dangerous. Then, at 10:35 a.m., a blue flash erupted from the middle of the room, and all 3 men were overcome in a wave of nausea. The flash was what's called Cherenkov radiation, which is light that is emitted when electrically charged particles pass through a medium faster than light can. In this case, the water in the precipitation tank slowed down light, but not the now reactive uranium particles. Then, suddenly, flash! Followed by a wave of
Flash.
gamma radiation.
That's
Their
crazy,
coworkers quickly jumped into action, donning hazardous material suits before bolting into the room to rescue the 3 men and rush them to a local hospital. There, they determined the levels of radiation that each of the men were exposed to. Sieverts are used to measure the impact of low levels of radiation on the human body. For reference, the typical dosage of radiation that Chernobyl workers who died within a month of exposure was 6 sieverts, while the highest non-lethal exposure is about 1 sievert. Yokokawa, Ouchi's supervisor, received the least, at 3 sieverts. Shinohara received 10 sieverts, and Ouchi received the most, a whopping 17 sieverts.
Oh man.
Soon after arriving at a local hospital, medical staff decided that they were ill-equipped to help Ouchi, transferring him to the Tokyo University Hospital, where more experimental methods could be attempted. Dr. Maikawa, the lead doctor in Ouchi's case, heard about the accident on the news in the afternoon of the first day, and was selected for the role
It's the
because of his
afternoon of the
expertise
first
in
day.
emergency radiation medicine. He said in an interview that he noticed the staff of the NIRS, National
All right,
Institute
chat. I'm
of
not gonna lie to you. I'm
Radiological
bored.
Sciences,
I
were
love
protected-
educational videos as much as the next guy, but I thought this was going to be a scary video, and it's not. it's an educational video. Anyways, here we go.
Throughout
Something
my time
spoopy.
here on YouTube, I've spent countless hours searching for dark, obscure content from all across the web. And out of all my morbid findings, only about 1% of them have actually been turned into videos. This happens for a few reasons, like some of the material being just too disturbing or too graphic to talk about. But mainly, it's because a lot of these topics I found don't really warrant a full video, at least not on my channel. So rather than just holding on to these topics forever, I decided to start a new series here and share with you all the chilling internet content that I've compiled throughout the years and will continue to compile for years to come. So join me in this new venture as we dive into the internet's darkest corners. Before we dive into this, I have to give a huge shout out to our amazing sponsor, Shudder. Shudder is the ultimate streaming service for all fans of horror, which chances are, if you're watching this video, that includes you. Shudder is essentially Netflix for scary movies, as it has the fastest growing selection of thrilling and dangerous entertainment. Shudder's expertly curated collection includes must-see titles like Vicious Fun, The Mortuary Collection, and PG Psycho Gorman, plus all of the best horror documentaries and the hit Creepshow TV series from executive producer Greg Nicotero of The Walking Dead. As part of Shudder's annual 61 Days of Halloween, they have actually released the latest installment in the VHS franchise, VHS 94,
Oh, yeah.
which is by far one of my all-time
Eric
favorites.
actually went to the
It's seriously
the panel
so
for
good, I
this.
highly
which is really
recommend
cool.
checking it out. And now you can do so for free for the next 30 days by going to shudder.com and using my promo code Crowley. That's SHUDDER.com and the promo code Crowley to start watching.
I think
for
Shudder
free
is mostly
today.
for horror stuff. I'm not a big fan of horror stuff, so yeah, I mean, like enough horror things, but like
It's
not
been
enough
over
for
15
me to like be
years since the
super
premiere
crazy,
of the now
you know?
hit show America's
Like, I
Got
can't
Talent,
sleep kind
a
of
competition
horror,
program centered around finding the top entertainers in the country. But despite the show's huge popularity, I was surprised that I hadn't heard about its upcoming spin-off, which was set to air fairly soon. The show is called AGT Extreme, which focuses solely on daredevil acts, a premise that has subsequently caused a bit of a stir online, as having a competition focused on extreme stunts means that people will take things further and further to win, which would lead to their performances getting riskier and riskier over time, pushing the envelope and heightening the danger. With this in mind, many critics have called out the show for how dangerous it could become. And as it turns out, even before the first episode has made it to air, these critics may have already been proven right. On the 15th of October 2021, TMZ would publish an article outlining an incident that had recently happened on the set of the show.
It's
The
actually
accident supposedly involved 41-year-old Jonathan Goodwin, a man who had performed on AGT before, where he attempted other life-threatening challenges,
Wow, they
all of
shelved
which
it,
had
yeah.
gone off without a
It was
hitch.
shelved.
But this time was different. The article wrote, Jonathan Goodwin, a daredevil stuntman on the new America's Got Talent Extreme, suffered brutal injuries
what's
after
good,
a
Isaac?
stunt he
Welcome to the
attempted went
stream.
horribly wrong, and it was so bad, people on set thought he was dead. The article would then go on to explain the stunt that Jonathan had attempted to perform and how exactly it all went wrong. Goodwin was suspended 70 feet in the air in a straitjacket, hanging by his feet from a wire. 2 cars were suspended on either side of him, swinging back and forth. The stunt was for Goodwin to free himself from the restraints and fall on an air mattress.
Would you look?
to
Oh
avoid
no!
cars
No! Why would you
and
do that?
then something went
No
horribly
way,
wrong.
dude! Come
The cars
on!
smashed together,
No!
sandwiching Goodwin in between them.
Oh,
The impact caused the cars
no!
to explode, erupting in a gigantic fireball.
No.
Goodwin fell to the ground and hit his head. The article then mentions that Jonathan's exact conditions weren't known, but that his injuries had been incredibly severe, having to be airlifted to a nearby trauma unit. The scene described sounded absolutely crazy, as the stunt Goodwin had performed sounded unlike anything I've ever seen before. And following the release of this story, curious readers wanted to know more, as they wondered whether the ordeal was filmed, and if that footage would ever get released. But according to the article, this had happened on a day of rehearsal, meaning that there
Can't
was no
believe you.
live studio audience, and the cameras potentially weren't even rolling. And even if the show had been filming, it seemed highly unlikely that they would ever choose to release this footage. However, as it turns out, during the whole event, another camera had actually been recording on set that day, which just so happened to capture the entire thing. It's unclear who was behind the camera, though many believe that it was likely a staff member who had pulled out their phone to film the act.
Oh, wow.
And somewhat unsurprisingly, just days after the initial report, this very video would emerge,
Of course
quickly
it did.
spreading to practically every social media site across the internet. The cars are then seen colliding together with extreme force, as Goodwin is pinned between them. At that exact moment, the pyrotechnics in both vehicles go off, causing a massive explosion. Jonathan would then collapse 40 feet to the ground below, falling headfirst. The video is horrifying, and it's easy to understand why people on set thought Goodwin had perished, as every time I watched the clip, I couldn't imagine how anyone could survive such a devastating incident. But shockingly,
Holy
Goodwin would
shit.
actually regain consciousness that very day, and despite suffering serious injuries like 2 broken legs and burns throughout his body, he doesn't appear to be in critical condition anymore, as
What
he's even
the
taken
heck?
to his Instagram page to let his fans know that he's going
Yeah,
to
we're
be
playing
okay.
Resident Evil 5.
And though his road
It's
to
not
a
really
full
scary,
recovery is
but
clearly
like
going
it's
to be
scary
difficult,
themed.
it's
so
still amazing
something.
to see him alive and in such good spirits. Following the news breaking on this story, and the video finding its way around the internet, America's Got Talent has halted production on the show, and it's currently unclear where they will go from here. Though if they
No
do decide to
fucking
carry on with its
way.
production, I personally find it likely that this won't be the last time we see an accident like this.
No way, dude. Mr. Rogers.
Our next story takes us to an obscure Reddit post made back in September of 2020. The story was told on the Legal Advice subreddit, as the original poster, or OP, was seeking help on a situation transpiring.
He's
with
got,
a
but he's
neighbor.
got a, you know.
OP described the situation as follows.
spoopy
I live in a
voice.
duplex with
Creepy
my
voice.
husband and my son, who is only a few months
Let's
old.
watch something
My father-in-law
actually scary.
owns half of the duplex
Yeah.
and is renting to us.
And then
The
you-
other
and then you're
half
gonna
is
fall
owned by
asleep.
An older woman and her adult daughter.
Yeah, Scooby
My
Doo
father-in-law
Miner,
has known the woman
Miner!
for over 15 years and told us before we moved in that the daughter was mentally ill and had strong delusions on occasion that caused trouble with the previous tenants. The last tenants apparently had to get a civil anti-harassment order placed against the daughter, but eventually moved out when the behaviors never stopped. Apparently, the neighbor accused them of kidnapping and abusing their children, as well as abusing their dogs. My husband and I brought our son home a few months ago, and we didn't have any issues with the neighbor until about 2 weeks ago. She has begun banging on and throwing things at the walls when our son cries. She screams at us as well, but I usually can't hear what she's actually saying, you know, over the screaming baby. And the 2 dogs going absolutely ballistic because of the banging.
Comic-Con was
It's
awesome.
absolute chaos, and it made my
was a great
postpartum
time.
anxiety so much worse. Every time the baby
That was a
cries, I
fun-ass
experience intense panic, waiting for the screaming and the banging to start. We have called the non-emergency police line twice when I can't handle it anymore and I feel close to a meltdown. And the first time I
Yeah,
talked
dude,
to her
I
and she
was
stopped doing
started
it as
going
often,
through my photos
maybe once
yesterday.
every 2 days.
It's been fire.
Tonight she's back and it
I'm
is
like
worse than
60
ever.
photos
The air
into
quality
my,
is so
like,
bad right now from the fires.
500
that
or
I can't let
600
the dogs
photos
out for
I
long to
got.
stop them from barking. And the barking makes the baby cry harder, which makes the neighbors scream and pound on the walls harder. The officer I spoke with says that we can try to get a civil
Yeah.
anti-harassment order placed, but he knew
That's
for
just
a
the
fact
600
that
pics
her
that,
behaviors
like, we
never
selected.
stopped after the last tenants had tried.
We
He says his
took
unofficial
600
advice would be
and
to live
from
somewhere
like
else.
we
Is that
probably have
seriously
about
my only
3,000
option?
photos to
We
be
can't
honest.
afford to move, but I can't
And
keep
like we
living
just
like
cut it down to
this.
600.
The post was
There
met
were
with
there were a bunch of
minimal
doubles
engagement,
too, so like
as many
we just chose
glossed
the
over
best
the
ones.
story, not thinking much of it, and those who did respond seemed to have a mixed reaction. Some actually sympathized with their neighbor, as sharing a wall with a
Yeah, that
screaming
sounds
baby
about right.
would
I think it was about
obviously not
200.
be a fun situation, and especially for someone with a mental illness who seems to react negatively to loud stimuli. While others found the neighbor's response to be fairly worrisome, as it was clear that the behavior had been escalating. But whichever side these commenters took, they all seemed to be in agreement on one thing, that there wasn't much OP could do. other than simply move out. And with that, the post quickly faded into obscurity.
That's what.
with
So
no resolution to be found, quickly being lost in the endless
reason that I'm
content
like
of
wondering
Reddit.
is that like
But
this will eventually be
the story
me.
wouldn't
Like
end there.
we're
In
moving.
fact,
My family and
nearly
I are
7
moving
months
next
later,
year.
an update would be made,
like
thrusting what was once an unknown story.
you know, thinking
into the
about
limelight.
that is like I really
Like these
hope
posts read,
I don't get
update,
like.
neighbor bangs on shared duplex
I hope we
wall
don't get
when
some
baby cries.
like crazy
My
ass
first
neighbors
post
who
never
like
got
every
much
time I
attention,
stream
but
or
the outcome
even
was
play
pretty
any
wild.
amount of music
In
or some
October
shit
of
like that,
2020,
they're
my
gonna
husband and I
like
were
bother
renting
the
a
shit out of
duplex
us.
where my
Like
father-in-law
that's. I mean,
owned
right
the house
now
we lived in. We brought our
we're
son home
somewhat in
from the
that
NICU
situation, but the
August,
thing is,
and
everyone
towards the
around
end of
us is kind of
September,
chilled
my
out a
neighbor,
lot.
40-year-old female,
But like
started to
like
calm the shared
imagine
walls
if
to
I'm
continue
moving
cry.
to some
The
suburban
calming
area
escalated
and our
over the next
neighbors
2
just end up
months.
being
The neighbor
either
bought a megaphone
really
to
noisy
yell
or
through the
just
wall
like
and
apparently
threatened
just
to rip us
wanting to
apart.
like be
She called
really
us child
silent.
predators, and she'd
That's
yell
gonna be a
obscenities and
problem, you
threats
know?
until 3 or 4 in the morning. The police were called multiple times, but they responded that nothing could be done about it. One officer said, "I'm going to kill you. See, it doesn't mean anything if I don't actually do it." The elderly mother hadn't been seen in several months, but requests for wellness checks were brushed off. The general advice I got was that as renters we couldn't do anything. It was also suggested that this was reasonable behavior, since the baby crying was probably
that's
really
fucked up.
annoying. Since my first post, we moved in with my grandmother for our safety. The neighbor ended up busting a softball-sized hole through the
What
shared
the
wall
hell?
to scream at us, and occasionally just stare at us. The smell that came from that hole was indescribably bad.
No
Our security
way,
cameras
dude.
recorded her coming to my son's nursery window at around. It took until the end of January for police to finally be able to enter her property. The elderly mother had been deceased since at least June, and the daughter had the corpse dressed in her Sunday best, rotting in a dead-bolted bedroom. The news article said that the mother died from natural causes.
No
The daughter was
fucking
taken
way.
to an inpatient psychiatric facility. The update came
Did you send me
entirely
a
out of left field,
Did you send a
yet
link?
this lady's timeline made
I think
perfect
links are
sense,
disabled.
as
Hold
the
on, let me
daughter's
see.
behavior likely escalated not just because of the new child, but also because of the loss of her mother.
Oh.
And without her mother to care for her and keep her in check,
Alright, I
it
got
allowed
you. Give
her
me 1
actions to go
second.
way off the deep end, as by the end, she had clearly become
Go ahead.
completely delusional. However, this is Reddit, and with Reddit comes a slew of fake stories designed to go viral,
damn.
which alone caused many to instantly write this whole situation off as a hoax. But digging deeper, this doesn't actually seem to be the case, as some would find news articles outlining a virtually identical situation. On the evening of January 29th, a welfare check was conducted at the home of 65-year-old Cynthia Newman. The lady had not been seen in months, and it wouldn't take long for police to figure out why. One article wrote, "The body of Cynthia Newman, 65, was found in a reclining chair with a pillow under her head and body. She was covered in blankets in an attempt to cover the body from sight." Newman's body was covered with insects and showed significant signs of decay, including exposed bone and places where skin was starting to peel off. It also appeared that animals living
yikes,
in the
man.
house had started to gnaw at the corpse. Also within the home was Cynthia's daughter, 41-year-old Jacqueline Bebout, who had been living with the corpse for over 7 months, never reporting it to authorities as she, quote, "didn't want to be alone." According to the articles written on this, Cynthia had died due to natural causes, though her daughter would still wind up being arrested
That's fucking
on charges of
crazy,
failing to
man.
report human remains, with her sentence landing her in a mental health facility. But hearing this story side by side with these 2 threads, well, it all adds up, right down to the month that she claimed it happened, leaving me without a shadow of a doubt that this was in fact real. And as I read OP's post once more, it becomes clear that the strong stench that she was smelling was the smell of a decaying body.
That's
And with
so
this context,
fucked up,
what
man.
started as just an obscure, forgotten post on Reddit has now shifted into one of its more twisted threads.
That's
When
fucking
someone
crazy.
dies, it means they're not alive anymore.
They're not alive anymore.
Reddit is home to a lot of disturbing content.
Well, big
And it's
word.
here that we find
He's
another
dead.
thread, with this one requiring no context for its darkness to be understood. The post was made to Ask Reddit, where a user asks, Redditors who know how much time they have left, How does your day look like? The post proceeded to go viral almost instantly, as hundreds of people flocked to tell their stories, with all of the top results coming from those who actually suffered from some type of terminal illness. One user wrote, ALS, rapidly progressing. Every day I get worse. Couldn't get my shirt on today. Not really enough strength and energy to eat, though I am being yelled at for losing
Yeah, no,
weight.
World of Warcraft
No
is
pain,
suddenly
for
getting
which I am
huge
thankful,
again.
but unable to do most
I mean,
things
it's
we
always
take
been
for granted.
huge,
I
but I
have
know a
T-Rex
bunch of
arms
people,
and
a bunch
probably
of
won't be
streamers are
able
getting
to walk
into
or
it
stand
again.
in the next few weeks. I am working hard to get the prescription
And they're
for
sponsoring
Death
a bunch of them
Wish
too
Digging.
to play it.
This is not how I
So
want
there were
to
a bunch of
live.
people who were like,
I
when they
think
were
I'll be
kids,
lucky to
probably
make it
playing
to
World of
Christmas,
Warcraft or getting
or
back
like early
into it.
November at this rate. I don't want to live like this anymore. Another says, my days are a mixed bag. Some days I don't want to get out of bed, and when I do, I can't seem to find the energy to leave the house. I have tumors all over my spine, so when things go really bad for me, my legs will probably be the first to go. This is my time, and it took me a lot of dying before I could take a deep breath and let go of the stress of living. Sometimes the best thing you can do is crack a beer and watch some TV and not feel guilty about it.
That's true.
It's easy to feel like you absolutely need to make each day count, but if I'm happy, I'm happy. The examples go on from there, as so many users have come together to share their experiences, and it's interesting to see how all of their answers differ. With some, they preach positivity, and somehow through it all they have found their inner peace. While others, well, are clearly struggling to come to terms with what will soon happen to them.
Whoa.
With most feeling guilty for what they have put their families through, and what their families will soon go through once they're gone. It's all just horribly depressing, and
Me too.
unfortunately, it's far worse than I described. As I've left out one devastating note, with that being that this thread is actually over 5 years old.
What the
Those
fuck?
accounts that had shared their stories, both good and bad, have now fallen silent,
No!
leaving the accounts responsible for practically all of the top stories in this thread abandoned, with no updates in years. This thread is no longer a group of people sharing what their last days will look
Bro,
like.
come on.
It's showing what their last days did look like, as it appears that the vast majority of them are no longer with us, succumbing to the fate that they knew was around the corner.
I don't know what's
Leaving
going
this
on.
as, in my opinion,
I think it might
one of the
just be,
most painful threads I've ever scrolled through.
That is a painful thread.
From our point of view. Spend a sunset on top of the world.
It's rare to see so many people know how their future is going to turn out, and the fate that lies ahead. But most of the time, the future turns out to be far more surprising than you can ever imagine, which leads us to a website called airliners.net, where 21 years ago, a group of users began a discussion centered around an impossible situation. But for just a brief moment in time, they pondered it, with the subject line reading, "If a 707 hit the World Trade Center." A user named MD90 starts the discussion by saying, when the two towers that made up the World Trade Center were built, they were designed to withstand the impact of the largest airliner of the day, the Boeing 707 Intercontinental. The Empire State Building survived a B-25 medium bomber, crashing into it on a very foggy day. It was during the weekend when most people weren't there, but still, 14 people died. Anyone want to bet that the World Trade Center could survive a 767 impact? This post was met with the response, "Let's not try that, okay? One terror attempt was enough." From there, others chime in,
Damn,
with
bro.
one
It's
adamantly
a whole
saying,
hour.
"My bet is no way. Just imagine a fully loaded airliner the size of a 707 slamming into any building. Think about it." And the discussion...
Isaac, stop!
One person
Stop.
wrote a rather lengthy, well-thought-out response saying, "If a 707 or a 757 slammed into the World Trade Center, it might be much more damaging than the case of the B-25 bomber that crashed into the Empire State Building. It is very doubtful any passengers or crew would have survived such a grim scenario. Also, there are probably more people per floor in the World Trade Center compared to the Empire State Building,
The fuck is
so
this?
casualties in the building
Like-
will likely be much higher." Another user responds by saying the structure itself would survive, as the buildings are surrounded by other buildings, and thus only a hit could take place high up on the structure, meaning not at or really near ground level. If it could somehow penetrate and hit the base, that would take it out completely.
A
But a hit
9/11
500 or
conspiracy
600
theory?
feet up most likely wouldn't take out the whole thing. Within this thread was even an employee who had been working
Wait, this
at the
was
World Trade
before
Center at the
September
time,
11.
who chimed
What the
in
hell?
stating, I am working in downtown New York at the World Trade Center, and when someone is in the observation deck of the World Trade Center, you see planes approaching the LaGuardia Airport, not far away from the building. Sometimes you think that the plane is
Jesus,
coming
man.
to hit the building. And I always think, what if a pilot crashes a plane on us? The conversation eventually leads to someone saying, the scenario is really hellish. I think the flight disaster record, Tenerife, 1977, 582 dead, might get reset by a lot. You would easily have 1,500 or more, since you would have 200 in the plane, at least 500 in the building, and a real shitload on the ground. If the building managed to fall, there might be 5,000 or 6,000 dead. Oh well, that's why they put AC lights on the buildings.
That's fucking crazy. That's
This was
way
the final
before.
message written in that thread. A thread based around a impossible situation. A situation that
Impossible
could only live
situation.
in one's imagination. Or at least at the time it was. Not even 1 year following this thread, 2
Only
Boeing
a few
67
months.
planes would crash into the World Trade Center, forever changing the course of world history. The same planes that user MD90 had referred to when saying, anyone want to bet that the World Trade Center could survive a 767 impact? And as it turns out, it couldn't.
And that's the history of the camera.
Oh no.
As part of my channel, I have a tendency to focus in on disturbing videos and channels. But recently, I've fallen down the rabbit hole of another form of media, photographs.
No!
And specifically, final photographs.
No!
The last pictures taken in a person's life. And
Please!
across the web, there are millions of examples of this.
I really
with an
don't
endless
want
supply
to.
waiting in the future.
I don't
As
want
at some
to.
point, everyone will have their final picture taken.
I don't
including
want
you and I,
to.
whether we know it at the time or not. Many of the examples
Nope.
we can find today
Nope.
are heartbreaking
Nope.
or even
Nope. Nope.
inconspicuous, while
Nope.
others, well, are much more disturbing.
Well, I didn't need to
On
sleep
April
tonight
18th,
anyways.
2021, a torrential rainstorm
This was
began
last
to
year?
wreak havoc in Houston, Texas, along with many surrounding areas. The rain fell in excess of 24 inches within just a single day, flooding the streets and many of the waterways nearby, leading to roads being completely covered with feet of rushing water. And unfortunately for 21-year-old Darren Mitchell, he would be caught directly in its crossfire. After attempting to make his way home on Highway 105, the floodwaters quickly overtook the road around him, to the point that it was impossible for the car to move any longer, leaving Darren stranded in his vehicle at the mercy of the raging water that was rising quickly. And given the conditions of that road in particular, well, he knew rescue would likely be a long ways away. Before Darren knew it, the water had made it all the way up to the top of his car as it slowly began trickling in through the crevices. Growing increasingly helpless, Darren decided to call up his family just to tell him that he loved them, while also mentioning that he had managed to make it out of his car and that he believed he was going to be safe. Though sadly, this wasn't actually the case, as just minutes later, he would use his phone to snap this picture. He would then post the shot to Facebook with the caption, "And all I wanted to do was go home." Moments later, worried onlookers would witness Darren's truck begin to roll before flipping over completely and disappearing into the raging water. Darren's body would be recovered days later, leaving him as one of the 5 victims to fall to this deadly flood. Another chilling final photograph comes from an ex-couple who had been partaking on a hiking trip in the Alabama countryside.
Of course,
18-year-old Jolie Callan and her boyfriend Lauren Bunner had been separated for some time, but the two decided to head out on one last hike as a chance for them to come to terms with the end of their relationship and hopefully start a new and civil friendship. By this time, Jolie had moved on with someone new and was all set to start college, but she wanted to remove any ill feelings with Lauren as she began this new chapter in her life. Together, the pair traveled up the mountains in Chia State Park, where Bunner would chronicle the entire day on his Instagram page. He posted photos of Jolie walking her dog, as well as just taking in the gorgeous scenery around them, with this shot proving to be incredibly stunning, as it shows just how vast the woods were that surrounded them.
That'd be fucking crazy.
Bunner would snap this picture before quickly posting it to Instagram as a way to cherish this memory, his last memory with Jolie. Just moments after taking the picture, Bunner would put his phone down and pull out a handgun that he had concealed in his pocket. He would then fire one shot in the back of Jolie's head, before flipping her around and shooting her once more to seal the deal. He then dragged her body to the edge of the cliff that she was seen here looking over, before pushing her off. Bunner was arrested that day after turning himself in, as it was clearly an attack done out of jealous rage, as he took exception to the fact that Jolie was moving on with her life, leaving him in the past. And it's likely that in this very moment, Jolie had no idea the fate that she was about to meet, and the plans that Lauren had for her that afternoon. But of all the final photographs that I've found recently, there's one that I find especially chilling, as it just leaves so much to the imagination. On June 6th, 2020, a group of friends had gathered at Frayant County Park to celebrate 46-year-old Biba Henry's birthday. As night started to fall and the party had begun to die down, Biba and her sister Nicole Smallman decided to stick around the park and continue the celebration, partying into the early morning hours. The two played music, danced, and waved around fairy lights, enjoying the day as if it was their last. And wanting to document the festivities, the ladies would set up one of their phones and begin photographing themselves. The phone was connected to a clicker that the girls would use to snap over 100 pictures, documenting their night in this dark wooded area.
What's gonna happen?
The pictures were a little grainy, and many of which were hard to make out, but it seemed as though the two were having a great time, or at least they had been, until this final photograph. It is incredibly blurry and difficult to make anything out, but the context behind it is highly disturbing. Just comparing it to the photograph taken right beforehand, it appears as though both subjects had been posing for a photo, before quickly turning to their left at the same time, almost as if something off camera had caught their attention, and even startled them. You can see Nicole Smallman looking to her left, and the body of Biba Henry turning that way as well, but besides that, nothing else can really be made out. Which makes it all the more bizarre once it's revealed that this would be their last photograph, as the two would be found hours later, having suffered over 30 stab wounds, with their bodies being hidden under nearby brush. The two women had been brutally murdered. Following a lengthy investigation, it would eventually be determined that the two had been attacked that morning by 19-year-old Daniel Hassan, and his motive was incredibly bizarre, as he believed that he had made a deal with the devil, who had told him that if he sacrificed 6 people every 6 months, then he would one day win the Powerball jackpot.
What the fuck?
Daniel truly believed that the only thing standing in the way of him and millions of dollars was the sacrifice of 6 people. And so that's exactly what he tried to do. On the afternoon of Biba Henry's birthday, Daniel had seen their group in the park celebrating, and when the crowd dispersed to just 2 people, he decided it would be the perfect chance to perform his sacrifice. It was this moment, this final photograph, of the two seemingly noticing something on their left, that they would see their killer for the first time, as Daniel had just emerged from the woods, standing just barely out of frame, before he began his attack. In the year and a half since this photo was taken, Daniel has since been convicted of both murders and is set to serve a minimum of 35 years in prison.
Minimum?
Though I think it's likely that he will remain behind bars
For the rest of his life, yeah.
Though the story is quite obviously a tragic one, we can at least find some comfort in the fact that Daniel will no longer be able to carry out the remainder of his sacrifices. The internet
fucking
never
crazy.
ceases to amaze me with its disturbing content, as every day new twisted stories are being uncovered. So if this is a series you would like to see more of, then please let me know, as there truly is so much more to dive into.
Alright, I'll watch a little bit of this, not too much though. I am not trying to get, like, I'm not trying to, like, die. Homeless?
I've lived a long
Ah! Ah! No fucking way,
enough
man.
life to have heard and seen a lot of unusual things. Of course, having spent many of my years in the state of Florida, I've seen firsthand on several occasions why the infamous Florida man is always making headlines
Ha,
across the country.
Florida man.
Heck, I could have been one of those Florida men back in the day. But I can tell you without a doubt
I'll
that no matter how
listen to
steeled
one
you think
story.
you become against the surprises life throws at you, you're never invincible. Life always holds the power to shock you to your core.
These are like
I mean,
creepypastas.
take me, for example. I spent my years in the military, and I've spent my years on the streets, drifting between one rock and another hard place. But no matter what messed up stuff I have to see go down or deal with, I always bounce back.
Always bounce back, baby.
Out of everything I've seen, only one thing made me lose my cool, and I think it was just the sheer unexpectedness of it. Just that I didn't think anything like it could ever happen in broad daylight in the middle of the city, but there's no denying that this happened. Everyone knows about it these days. It was a nice sunny day in Miami. I was making my way across town down the concrete mess of a highway, just to get out of that part of town I'd been in for the last few weeks. I'd never owned a car, so I was taking my bike down the shoulder, except I wasn't riding it. I hadn't been sleeping well, and the night before I didn't manage to catch any sleep at all. I was honestly too drowsy to
Grand
pedal in a
concourse.
straight line, so I was literally just walking my bike down the shoulder of the road. There was a sidewalk next to me, but it was on the other side of a concrete barrier, like the ones they use to
Damn, that is a
directions of
concourse.
traffic on freeways. I could have hopped
Minus
on
the palm
foot,
trees.
but not with my bike. I don't know exactly how I'd ended up sandwiched there between
Miami
the
would
cars
be
and the
dope.
concrete, but after what happened later, I'd take that way again over the alternative. The sun was getting high and bright. It was
Spring
starting to hurt
break.
my eyes. I squinted ahead and saw that there was a bridge down the way, a nice wide overpass to provide some shade. I started to quicken my pace, which felt pretty silly given that there were countless cars flying past me. But between the deafening whoosh of each vehicle passing, I kept thinking I was hearing something. Something that sounded like the shouts of a heated argument between drunk people.
That's the problem with you. It's knowing how this down.
That might not be something you'd expect to hear in the middle of the day in your town.
Why is
but
the heartbeat
Miami
going
is
out?
more than common. But I couldn't help but think it sounded a little unusual. I figured that sleep deprivation was screwing with me, and pressed on. But as I got closer to the bridge, the shouting grew louder. It sounded more like screaming, but there was some other tone in there, like a growling, rabid dog. Every time I thought I was about to decipher it, a car would blow past me. Then, the sound would change. By the time I got to the bridge, my curiosity was piqued. I could definitely tell where the noise was coming from, straight ahead of me, just a few more yards under the shade. I peeked over the edge of the barrier onto the sidewalk and saw two hairy pairs of men's legs sliding around together on the sidewalk. I instinctively darted my eyes away, not wanting to see much more above the thigh level. These experimenting people need to get a room. What are they thinking? Doing stuff like that on the side of the road in the beaming sun. Well, obviously no one cares because no one's stopping. Just another day in Florida. I did my best to keep my eyes to myself as I passed under the shade. I was thankful for the break from the intense light, but beneath the underside of the road above, some strange sounds began to echo, forcing me in for another look. This was an act of exhibition, but there were two messed up looking dudes lying naked on the concrete, and one of them was crouched over the other, tearing into a man's face with his teeth. There was blood gushing out and spilling onto the asphalt, bone showing through the bite wounds on the face, and flesh in the attacker's teeth as he looked up to notice me, just to scream like a feral zombie as he looked me dead in the eye. It was at that exact moment that I jumped onto my bike and pedaled off at top speed. All prior drowsiness was erased by the shot of adrenaline. I kept looking back to see if I was being ran down by that psycho, but luckily he'd been content with scaring me off. I rolled down the first ramp that I got to and immediately went looking for a cop. I found one not even a block away, surrounded by several other very concerned-looking citizens. The police officer, however, seemed annoyed, but I was in a panic, and I never panic, so I must have been a sight to see all on my own. I barged through all those people and got right up into the cop's face.
There's a flippin' zombie on the frickin' pedestrian path. Up the ramp, just up that way.
Come on, don't get hysterical with me, people. What do you mean by zombie?
There's a dude eating another dude's face off, man.
Finally, it seemed like something clicked in the cop's brain. He didn't say anything to us. He walked straight into his car, speaking something into his radio. Then he drove up the off-ramp going the wrong way, out of sight. Me and those other civilians traded a few strange looks, all in an understandable loss for words. Some of them looked like avid bicyclists. Others just looked like people who'd come out of their cars. I wondered how long that thing had been going on with all those people just driving past like that. Then we heard the gunshots. 5 of them in quick succession. Everybody on the street stopped what they were doing, dumbfounded. In just a few minutes, more and more cops came, followed by an ambulance, and then the army of press. News van after news van drove up to broadcast the scoop, live on the scene, or whatever. I heard some office building captured the whole thing on their security cameras.
Whoa.
It was the talk of the town for weeks. I'm sure the name Miami was heard all across the world alongside Zombie Attack, Cannibal Eats Face Off Homeless Man, Florida Man Gets Wasted and Eats Face. I don't care for any of that. People who weren't there seem fascinated by it, but I know more than anything that I never want to see pictures of that horrible tragedy. Just from seeing it one time, I was shaken up for months. I still get hair standing up on the back of my neck whenever I pass under a bridge.
A person who was riding his bike here off the MacArthur Causeway yesterday afternoon says he saw one man eating another man alive.
You're about to hear from the Miami man who had
Oh,
his
man.
face chewed off.
My face is all attached up.
Oh, I heard about this.
And ignored the officer's orders to stop eating the other man's face.
Okay.
Out of every
Awesome.
day.
That's it. That's it for today. That's it. That's it. That's it. I'm good. I've had enough of that. Speaking of zombies, let's play Resident Evil, guys. I can't do this. I can't do this. The entire month of October, man. It's only the 13th. Ah! Okay, Resident Evil starting now. Fuck. Oh, has it been echoing this entire time? Sorry. Hi, Ray. Welcome to the stream. Where'd he go? Oh, there it is. Alright. Are we starting it? It's starting now? Okay. Let me just put the music back on because, that's just yikes, man. I can't keep doing this. Oh, Jesus Christ, my... my heart, man. Alright. Resident Evil. Resident Evil. Truth be told, guys, this is the first Resident Evil game that I'm ever playing. So I don't know what to expect. You know, and because again, I've never really been into the zombie genre of games, but I know Resident Evil is really good. Obviously, they've made plenty of them. And I know Eric's played pretty much all of them. So I know for a fact that it's a good game. So we'll see how it is. Why is my game not working? Y'all, I can't. I'm trying to play. Alright, it says stop. It keeps not playing. Huh. Do I have to uninstall? I really don't want to uninstall it and install it again. I don't want to watch another story. Like, I really don't. It was fun. And Isaac had a great idea, but my heart is... I can't take it. I can't do it. Alright, I'm installing it again. By the way, the story of the shirt. Yes, one! Okay, fine. One more, fine. Fine, one more story.
Day that I have ever lived through. Even with so many of them being so hard, there is one that stands out as the worst day of my entire life. It was my mother's 63rd birthday. The morning started just like any other. I helped my little girl get dressed and ready for school. It was supposed to be a big day for her. She had been practicing for her school spelling bee for weeks, and today was the day. The two of us were about to walk out the door when my husband grabbed me on the shoulder and stopped us before the door. You can't let her go to school looking like that. She looks unkempt. What will people think when she's on stage? I was going to just accept that he was right and change our daughter into some different clothes.
I'm gonna use the bathroom. Ah!
She was living with us at the time. Had a bit of a grudge against.
I'm gonna use the bathroom, guys. I'm gonna be right back. Okay. Did I accidentally... I'm still here, right? Okay.
Against my husband, and she wouldn't have it. It was her birthday after all.
Who do you think you're talking to? If you make my granddaughter late for school on the day of her recital, you got another thing coming. Go, baby, get out of here. Don't let that oaf tell you what to do.
My husband looked a little dumbstruck by my mother's resistance to his remark. He was usually the head of the household, and he would always get his way. But ever since my mother retired and started living with us, she had fought him for control over every little thing. I didn't want to be caught in the crossfire between the two of them on that day, so I just left like my mother told me to. I dropped my daughter off at school, then spent several hours running errands. Early in the afternoon, I got a call from my mother. For some reason, she was elated.
Huh. Today sure is a good day, dear. How's about you take your old lady out for some coffee and pastries for her birthday?
There wasn't really any way that I could say no. I might have married a controlling man, but I was born to an even more demanding and particular mother. So I put a hold on the grocery shopping I was about to do and met her at her favorite cafe in town, which was, of course, ridiculously overpriced and overrated. She ordered the most expensive things on the menu on my tab, then told me to take pictures of her holding them up to commemorate the occasion. When I asked for a bite, she said,
"Oh, give it a rest, honey. I've done enough for you today. I deserve this to myself."
I was confused by what she meant, but I didn't bother to ask. I heard my phone go off from my purse, and I welcomed the distraction. I'd gotten a text from my sister-in-law asking where my mother was. I replied that she was at the coffee house with me, but I didn't get a reply. Instead, about 15 minutes later, the police pulled up. They marched inside with forlorn faces and told us to follow them to the police station, but they wouldn't tell us why. Now, I understand that they didn't want to make a scene at the place of business. When we got to the station, we were met by a man in a suit who spoke to us softly.
"Hello, ma'ams. I have some very unfortunate news. If you would, I'd like to talk to one of you at a time in this room here. The other can sit in the waiting room with your family."
"Oh, let me go first. It's my birthday."
Sure. Come with me, ma'am."
And so, my mother disappeared into a windowless room with that man, as I was ushered into a larger waiting room, where I found my entire family of in-laws sitting in quiet, sobbing despair. I asked them,
"Do any of you know what's going on?"
but none of them answered. They just looked at me with daggers in their tearful eyes. Confused, I found a seat away from them, up against the wall that was shared with the room my mother had just been taken into. I was soon to find out that that room was purposed for interrogations and had an extremely thin wall.
"Something terrible happened today, ma'am. Your son-in-law has passed away."
"Huh? What'd you say?"
"Your daughter's husband has been killed."
There's a jump scare coming! I can feel it! No! I can feel it! It's coming!
Oh no!
In that moment, my world collapsed. I'd just seen my husband alive a few hours ago, but now, he was gone. I couldn't think of a single person who would want to hurt him, but then it hit me. The last person I'd left him alone with was my own mother.
So he's dead?
Yes, he was killed. He was shot a dozen times in his own home.
Yay! Happy birthday to me. I did it, I did it.
Everything after that is just a blur. They called my daughter out of school and made us go in the room with my mother. I remember her saying something like,
"Aren't you so happy, baby? You're free now. No more of that jerk hanging around."
But there was nothing I could say. I'm still struggling.
Thanks
to
for the
recover from
follow,
that
Curse Chronos. Welcome,
10
welcome,
years ago.
welcome to the
Just can't
Royal
believe
Squad.
How deranged she became. That she would do something so despicable and then celebrate it. She even made me take her out to lunch afterwards. I know.
I guess I
didn't
gotta watch
marry
another
a perfect
story.
man, but she had no right to do what she did. We could have worked things out, but now none of that is possible. But over everything else, it's my daughter I pray for. For her grandmother to take away her father like that and act like she was doing her a favor. I just don't understand what snapped in that woman's mind.
What did you think of him? Okay, and why do you say that?
That's the big thumbs down. You didn't like him.
I want to tell you that just within the last 30 minutes, the judge did rule that there is now enough evidence for Cynthia Sidabaka to stand trial for murder.
Is he dead? You tell me. He gotta be dead. Is he dead?
He's dead.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh boy, oh boy. Good. Oh, thank you, thank you.
Did you check to see if he was doing it?
I didn't care.
Alright, working at Walmart. Alright, fine.
I used to work at a Walmart before I got fired for a headphone-related incident. I worked in the clothing department, and since Walmart isn't exactly known for its hot fashion, it was generally pretty slow. Aside from folding and hanging up clothes, there wasn't much else to do. That's why I picked up the habit of hiding my AirPods behind my hair and listening to music to get through the boredom of my shifts.
It does look like
I was
Family Guy.
fully aware that this was against company policy, but I didn't really care. I would have quit from the lack of stimulation alone if it weren't for my music. And it wasn't like my supervisor was around much anyway. I don't think they ever would have known if it weren't for the major incident which got me fired.
My hair was
The day
not that
started
long
like
in
any other.
2013.
I finished the task left over from the previous shift and got settled into my usual spot by the fitting rooms, folding the
That looks
same
like
10 articles
pandemic
of
me,
clothing over and over again, while
Actually, my
tucked
hair
into
is
a
actually
corner
that
which
long
I'd
right
only
now.
be seen by customers who were already in the fitting room aisle. It took almost an hour before I got my first customer. Hello, sir. I'd like to try on these clothes, please. He had about 5 or 6 articles of clothing, so I handed him a tag numbered 6 and pointed him down the aisle as I gave him my usual customer service voice. All the rooms are available. Hang this outside your door to let others know your room is occupied. Well, thank you very much. After
I had
waiting a
horror
few
stories
seconds
that
for a
are actual
response he
horror
didn't
stories
get,
from
he
Lucy.
gave up and
I
took the
don't.
first door on the left. Even on slow days,
No, actually, I
the
do have
business
one,
came
but,
in
like,
waves,
I'd
so
rather
it
not
wasn't more
share
than
it
a
right
minute later before the next customer approached me.
Oh,
At a
Jesus, scared the
glance,
shit
I
out of
could
me,
tell
man.
there was something a little off about the guy.
It's just my child.
He didn't seem like the type of person that would usually buy clothes, like, at all.
Good
But
night.
it didn't matter to me.
Good
I treat
Good
all
night.
customers with the same level of hospitality. None. Can I get in one of those rooms? The guy had far more than 10 articles of clothing, which is the limit per customer, but there was no way I was going to argue with him over it. So I just handed him a tag number 10 and sent him on his way away from me. All the rooms except the first one on the left are available. Hang this outside your door to let others know your room is occupied. He took the tag slowly, like he wasn't sure if it was some kind of trap or not. Then, he went into the second room on the left. I knew that was weird, because most people would put a little more space between themselves and the people changing next to them. The fitting rooms were more like stalls. The walls don't go all the way down to the floor and they don't reach the ceiling. But there was nothing I was willing to do about it. That alone was
First
not a
time
good
chat,
enough
I kicked
reason
that
to
guy out of the
interrupt
store.
somebody
No,
while
you're
they were
right.
changing. So
You're
I just went
absolutely
back
right.
to folding, waiting for them to come out and give me more clothes to fold. A few minutes in, my favorite song came on shuffle. I discreetly turned the volume up a few notches, just to jam out a little bit for the one song. Then I turned it back down so I could hear new customers approaching. That's when the weird guy came out. I thought it was strange how he came out before the other guy, considering he had so much more clothes. He had all the clothes jumbled up into one tangled mess, which he plopped down on the cart in front of me. Thank you. Have a blessed day. He sounded out of breath, like he'd just done a fitting room speed run. He gave me a good look at the bloodshot white of his eyes, then tore his gaze away and walked off in a rush. I shrugged. Oh well, just another day of dealing with Walmart shoppers. But as I was folding up the clothes he'd just dropped off, I noticed something I'd never seen before. Not even at Walmart. There were bloodstains smeared all over the clothes. Little ones at first, just an eye-catching dab or two. Then more and more towards the bottom, until the last shirt was nearly soaked.
Is this really your average day at Muji-Ray? I need to know what the hell you're doing.
I put aside the clothes and walked down the aisle. The number 6 tag was still hanging on the first door, and beneath it, a thick pool of blood seeping out into the aisle. I pushed open the door, revealing the source. The nice man from before was stuffed into the corner with his face torn to shreds, skin hanging off the bone. His half-naked body full of deep holes still spilling out with blood. The blood was everywhere. And on the mirror, a message had been written in it by hand. The writer's fingerprints visible in the coagulation. The parting words of the killer read, "The devil made me do it." Needless to say, I got fired that day. But I don't care.
He got fired?
I don't even care that they caught the guy the same day. All I can think about when I remember that day is, how could I have let it happen? If I'd just been doing my job, if I'd only been paying just one little bit of attention, I could have heard that man being murdered. Maybe then, I could have done something to stop
Maybe because he had the music on while somebody was being murdered.
Or screamed or something. I could have done anything to save that man's life. But no, I wasn't doing any of those things. I was lost in my own little world within my AirPods. And that man is dead.
Oh, now his supervisor cares.
He's more than dead.
Okay, fine. We'll do another.
I really shouldn't be talking about this, but I've been keeping the secret from everyone for decades now. And as I've gotten more old and withered over the years, I'm close enough to death that I no longer care if they find me. It was the early 90s, and I just hit flat broke and fell out on the streets. I consider myself a wise and seasoned hobo these days, but back then I was a rather hopeless case. I barely had any experience with living on my own, let alone without a home. Not only that, but the city was a lot smaller all those years ago, so finding money was that much harder. I would spend all my time begging and pleading, and by the end of most days I wouldn't even have enough change to buy a hot dog from the convenience store. I tried everything I could think of. Busy streets, residential streets, kindness, crassness. I just wasn't getting anywhere.
Even though it was just a
By the end of my
zombie
first
things
couple
don't really
months,
get
I
to
was
me
starving.
as much.
My bones were protruding from my skin, and I could barely keep my eyes open from the lack of energy.
The jump scares get to me.
It just goes to show the way people are, because many of them won't take pity on you, even if you look as bad as I did. I was sitting on the sidewalk, shivering from the first autumn wind and jingling my cup when some jerkwad in a cheap suit slapped it out of my hand, sending all my money flying into the air and tumbling down into the sewer. Go get a job, you worthless bum. Then he walked off.
Eat my ass, bro.
I struggled to get to my feet and tried to pick up my quarters, but people kept accidentally kicking me, so I gave up on it. I stumbled away from that no-good avenue to a more relaxing street. I already knew this particular street was popular among the homeless, and I will admit, I had the intention of begging them for food or change, but without much expectation of that working. So you could understand my surprise when I saw a homeless couple sprawled out on a park bench all fat and happy, smiling and laughing and chatting. So this guy walks up to me and says, "Hey man, have you seen the newest Demon Slayer episode?" And I said, "I can't watch Demon Slayer, I'm homeless." Laughter was something I hadn't experienced in a very long time, and I certainly hadn't looked that well fed since even before I became homeless.
It's funny because
I went right up to them and started to ask, "Excuse me, I don't mean to be a bother, but I'm having a really rough time out here, and I see that you guys are doing well. All I want to ask is, how have you been able to keep your health? Or how do you panhandle? Like, what's your approach?" "Get lost, buddy." "Please, sir, I beg of you. Winter is coming and I haven't eaten in weeks. I won't survive if I don't get something to eat. I don't want anything from you but knowledge." All right, man, keep it down. I'll tell you how we've been getting fed, but you gotta swear to God that you won't tell anyone about this, or I guarantee that starvation will be the least of your worries. You got that? Oh, I do. I swear, on the Lord in heaven above, may he bless you and your lady. Thank you. All right, man, listen up, because I'm only gonna say this once. Walk 2 blocks west to the edge of the woods. On the far side of the street, there's a loose manhole cover. Enter and follow the sewer until you meet the old head, Maynard. He feeds the homeless. Now, get lost. I heeded him and got out of there. My brain was so fried by starvation that when I found the manhole, I didn't even think about the stench of the sewer once. But I did make myself wait until sundown. It seemed obvious with all the secrecy that man had pressed upon me that you weren't supposed to be seen going in. Getting there in the early twilight, I heaved off the manhole cover with what felt like the last of my strength. Then stepped down onto the ladder and dragged the cover back, sealing myself in the musky darkness. I carefully made my way down the ladder until my feet plunged into raw sewage. I didn't even flinch, let alone recoil. Or I might have noticed what was off about the sewer water. Instead, I reached into my pocket and found a lighter, flicking it on to provide myself some meager guidance in the oppressive stench. There were only 2 ways to go, forward and backward. But on the wall of the tunnel was some writing, crudely smeared on in some kind of dripping red ink. Or maybe it was blood. It read, Maynard's Buffet, with an arrow pointing down the tunnel. Seems like I'm in the right place. As I thought aloud, I heard my voice echo many miles through the corridors, stirring a number of creatures that were living within them. All of a sudden, I could hear the scurrying and chirping of rats that I hoped were running away from the sound of my voice and not toward it. But I didn't have the mental fortitude to linger on the grimness of my situation, not with all the ravenous hunger racking my brain. I pressed on, seeing not just more finger-painted signs directing me to the buffet, but also the size of the rats I'd heard. Monstrous
maybe that's what's gonna happen.
But that's beside the point. I must have trudged about half a mile through the muck of the sewer when I knew I had to be getting close, because I could hear the people eating. They sounded like animals, growling, lip smacking, hoots out of sheer celebration. I never heard such loud chewing, but even in the sewer, the sound of it made my stomach growl. I picked up my pace and tried to get there quicker, but pretty soon I found myself exhausted, forced to go on at a slow, steady pace. Eventually, I saw an intersection in the tunnel, and that's right about when my lighter ran out of juice. I pressed on, the sound of the feast growing louder and louder. But right as I was about to round the corner, I heard a snap, like a bone being broken in half. I stopped. A chill ran down my spine, trying my hardest not to stir the sewer water. That I could now clearly see was a dark turbid red and a light from around the corner. I crept up to the intersection, then peeked my head around the corner. Squatting in the stagnant drainage of a clogged culvert were 6 or 7 shirtless homeless men. All sat around a floating corpse of a man which they were devouring, ripping the skin from flesh, the flesh from bone, breaking the bones and sucking out the marrow, cracking the skull and scooping out the brains, chewing that bright crimson with tendon and sinew stuck between their teeth. And I would have recognized that cheap suit anywhere. I'd seen that jerk just a few hours ago.
It was the dude!
Right before these crazy cavemen killed him and dragged him down here. I turned and ran. I may have been on the verge of starvation, but I would have rather died than become one of them. 30 years later, and I've long since found out how to make a living on the streets, but I'm still traumatized by what I saw. It's my nightmare in every fitful sleep I managed to catch, but I think I've outlived all the faces I remember from around that time, so I can finally get it off my chest without worrying of becoming the buffet myself.
What the hell, man? What do you want?
Ew.
What do you want me for? I'm just a bum.
I'm a professional photographer by trade, but I've had a few side hustles in the past. I'm also sort of a fanatic for the paranormal, which has led me down a number of photographic rabbit holes, but strictly as a hobby. I never get paid for attempting to actually photograph real ghosts. However, some years ago, I did combine those interests into an obscure side hustle that ended up getting me into trouble. Basically, I'd take pictures of grieving family members, then Photoshop images of their deceased loved ones into the photographs. It was never my favorite gig,
not only because it involved the fabrication of the ghost that I was trying to find proof of, but mainly because I always had the nagging thought in the back of my mind that said it was taking advantage of people who were struggling with the loss of their loved ones. But all those people willingly responded to my ad. I never charged them much, just enough to make ends meet, so I continued to do it. Unfortunately, there was one client who forced me to stop. From the very beginning, I was getting strange feelings about their request. But at that point, I was already starting to get the idea into my head that I was really helping these people with their grieving process somehow. She called me around midnight with a strange excitement in her voice. "You've reached Sunday Morning Photography. How may I produce your memorable photos?"
Hi, I saw your ad on Facebook. How much do you charge for a funeral photography session?
Well, the usual rate is $100 for an hour-long shoot. About 2 weeks until you receive your 5 finished photographs.
Can you get them to me by Monday if I give you $500?
Sure.
Great, I'll text you the details.
I was a little flabbergasted. $500 for an hour on camera and 4 hours in the Photoshop was better than my professional rate at the time. I didn't really question why she needed them so fast, but I thought it was weird that she didn't even tell me who had died. Though, within minutes she'd send over a dozen text messages, really long and drawn out blocks of text, detailing how distraught and depressed she was due to the sudden death of her 2-year-old daughter, and how she didn't want to talk about it over the phone. Before I even had time to type the words, "my condolences," she completely switched into business mode. She gave me a detailed list of the kinds of photos she wanted, how she wanted them composed, which pictures of her daughter she wanted to use, and how. Just a lot of very specific requirements that grieving people wouldn't usually care about. Most of the time, they're too preoccupied with grief itself to deal with the details. After all, a professional gets paid for the details. But this woman was something else. She had what she wanted in mind, and she wouldn't accept anything different in the slightest. All that said, because she was paying me so much, I ignored the feeling of suspicion in my gut and met her the very next morning. She told me to meet her at a certain cemetery, which led me to believe that we'd be taking photos at her daughter's grave. Then she asked me,
"Which one of these gravestones would look best for the photo shoot?"
You mean your daughter hasn't been buried yet?"
No. I told you, I'm getting these photos for her service. Now, answer the question.
From that point on, I didn't ask any questions. We walked together through the cemetery until she found a random gravestone that she liked. That's when I began the photo shoot. She was the most nitpicky, particular customer I've ever had. I nearly filled up an entire SD card with duplicate pictures because the tiniest thing was out of place. Or she didn't have the right facial expression. The whole time I was just hoping that the family of whoever this gravestone belonged to didn't show up and start screaming at us. This woman even had a book as a prop. I think it was titled The Giving Tree. She made me take a photo every second as she read the entire thing to her dead daughter, who wasn't even there. Then, after the hour of the photo shoot was over, she held me up for another hour as she scrolled through all of the hundreds of photos and picked out the 5 that she wanted produced. After she was finally gone, I purchased a few energy drinks and went home to pull an all-nighter to get all of her pictures done before the next morning. Honestly, I just wanted to be done with this client and claim my money. Thankfully, she didn't hassle me about the quality of the Photoshop upon delivery. That's what most people had issues with, but she didn't care. I saw the money hit my bank account and I thought I was finally done with that horrible woman. But I sure wasn't. A few days later, I got a knock on my door. The kind of banging that sounds like someone's trying to beat down your door. That makes you shoot out of bed in your underwear. I answered the door to 2 men in suits who held up their badges as they introduced themselves. "Good morning, sir. We are homicide investigators from the state. We have a few questions we'd like to ask you. You're not under arrest, but we'd like you to come into the local station." Sure. I haven't done anything wrong, so it shouldn't take long. But of course, I was there all day. My side gig had gotten me wrapped up in a murder case. That awful witch had taken advantage of me. She was under suspicion of murdering her own daughter.
Oh no.
She had me take those photos to make her look innocent, like she was grieving and yearning for her lost daughter, when she was the one that killed her. That incident ruined my reputation. From that moment on, I never did another one of those gigs. I never should have done them to begin with.
No. My work to make people think that she's innocent.
What did she want in the photos?
She told me that her daughter's favorite book was The Giving Tree. And she said, I want me holding the book, reading it to my daughter Macy, who passed away. And I want to be looking down at her while she's reading the book. She wanted this more than any other photo. When I look at that photo now, I see, Mommy, why'd you do this?
Okay, another Walmart horror story? There are more of these?
When I was still in college, I worked part-time at the local Walmart to make ends meet. Nowadays, I'm extremely grateful that my degree has kept me employed in a more respectable career.
Okay, okay. I'm good. No more, please. Now my entire feed is horror! I hate this. I'm gonna have to, like, watch some, like, less scary stuff. Yeah, apparently. I'm just never going to Walmart. Is this it? Volume 2? No, that's Highway Horror. Is it this first one? Or this one? It's the second one? Okay, it's this one. Okay.
It was January of 2016. My buddies and I live right next to a nature preserve and used to love to explore it. It was a weekend and we were looking for something to do. And being mischievous, we decided to go explore the storm drain that supplied water to the creek in the nature preserve.
Yo, Curse Chronos, let me know which one of the stories is yours.
So we decided
I'm curious.
to see if the rocks made contact at any point so we could figure out the depth. However, we received something much more in return. After throwing a rock against the wall in the storm drain, a couple seconds
Oh, story 2? Okay.
we heard a terrifying thump or bang in return.
What the hell?
Dusk was approaching, so we called it a day and watched back over the video we recorded of it. The next weekend, I gathered a few more buddies, and we decided we would unbolt the barricade to the drain and go inside. I got the barricade to fall down, and we made our entrance. It went in about 20 feet until it hit a dead end. However, there was a second branch of the drain to our left that we'd have to take a step up to get into. We proceeded in one by one, all 5 of us. At first, it was nothing but spider webs and mud. We traveled about 500 to 1,000 feet into the drain as it kept getting skinnier, and we had to duck to proceed. We were all frozen in our tracks as we heard the same exact thump we heard the weekend before. A scary and hard to describe sound. We had no signal and were beyond terrified at that point because we were all right next to each other and the noise had come from much further away. At this point, my friend decided to start recording in case anything else happened. We made it out of the drain safely, without anything else happening. The scariest and most chilling part of this whole story was when I reviewed the video and saw a slight outline of a head at one of the turns of the drain.
Oh my god.
This couldn't possibly have been one of us because we had all been together. I took a screenshot of it and zoomed in as far as I could, and well, I was horrified. There in the frame was a demon-shaped looking head with glowing eyes and what appeared to be pointy ears. To this day,
I don't
we have
really
never
see it.
gone back into that nature preserve, let alone the storm drain.
That's horrifying, though. Oh, here's story 2.
It all started when a group of friends and I decided to start exploring abandoned warehouses due to the stories and myths surrounding them in our hometown, Laredo, Texas. The story surrounding the area of warehouses was that the buildings were haunted due to immigrant workers being worked and mistreated to death. The local news covered the death of many of the workers. Many of the deaths were also ignored by the authorities due to the illegal status of the workers. In the warehouse that we visited, the company was in charge of the maintenance of the railroad tracks as well as the disposing of hazardous material. In the video I recorded, the barrels filled with chemical wastes are seen spilled open. The warehouses are located in a part of town where there's nothing really around except for train tracks. The predominantly Hispanic culture of my city gave rise to the stories about railroad workers that had lost their lives in the area. We decided to explore the warehouse during the day and then during the night. On our daytime exploration, We found remains of what seemed to be remnants of satanic rituals because we found a chicken's foot and pentagrams drawn in permanent marker.
Jesus Christ.
We figured that was the work of local groups trying to communicate with the damned souls of the workers. We also spotted a makeshift couch or bed where the workers would sleep. The night we visited, we had the feeling we were being watched. We were actually also being followed and attacked by crows inside the building.
Oh shit.
¿Qué son?
While we were exploring that night, on several occasions, we spotted shadows and heard noises throughout the area. As we delved deeper, we got the feeling that someone or something didn't want us in the warehouse. A creepy laugh can be heard in the video footage I captured, and that was our cue to get the hell out.
Nada. I don't think there's no power.
No way, man. I'm out. I wouldn't even...
Yeah. Let's just get out of here.
I wouldn't even have gone in there.
Things only got weirder though, as the satanic drawings and the chicken foot were gone the next time we passed that spot.
What the hell?
They were spotted only earlier that day. I'm completely convinced that someone or something was stalking us in that warehouse that night. I believe the lost souls of the workers, or a satanic group of people that frequented the place, were there that night with us, watching. As we walked out of the warehouse, we noticed that the crows were very on edge and tried to attack us, like I mentioned earlier.
Wow.
The events that happened that night still sometimes keep me up at night.
That's crazy. That's crazy. House?
I'm a freshman at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Some friends of mine came home from a hockey party after their game.
That's crazy, guys. I can't. That's fucking crazy. Wow. Alright, I need to find a way to make my, Man, look at all these horror videos now! It's crazy! Look at Nazi video! Come on, man! Oh my god, I need to just, like, change my, I need to change my feed. I'm gonna put on, let me just put something, I don't know. Let me just put a bunch of, like, not scary videos. Until my feed has changed. I don't like this.
this bomb.
It's Sonic and Mario. It's a Snoop Dogg cooking book.
This is a day in the life of a Japanese.
It's not better! My feed is not better. Anyways, that was crazy. That was fucking crazy. Wow. Will I be able to sleep tonight? Look at all these scary videos. It's crazy.
We all are.
I'm just gonna keep pressing.
Okay,
like,
that's it.
Like a bunch of
I am
random
American
videos until my feed clears up. The Hello Kitty murder. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right. Well, let's see if Resident Evil 5 will work now. Nope, it did not work. It keeps failing. I don't know why I keep doing that. Yeah, if my YouTube feed stays like that, I'm just quitting YouTube forever. Alright, fine, we'll play Alice. I was gonna play Resident Evil, but I guess we're playing Alice. I think it's called Alice Madness Returns, right? Yeah, Alice Madness Returns. gonna play this game for a bit. All right. Not right now. I literally can't see anything. I don't even know how this, Alright. Let's see. Is that seen? Is that seeable? Man, this game's from 2011. This game's from 2011. I legitimately don't know if the game is streaming, so. Okay, it is? Alright, cool. Is this one of those games that's gonna, like, require me to, like... Okay. Play with a controller? I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I have no problem with it, actually. What am I gonna take out? Yeah, sure, let's do it. Better. Anti-aliasing off, motion blur off. Alright, let me turn the music back on too. I'm not playing Nightmare. Off. We already did the spooky. Welcome to stream, Carlos. Actually, I was gonna play Resident Evil, but unfortunately my Resident Evil does not like me today. So we're playing Alice. Did it crash? Oh my god, this is embarrassing. Okay, hold on. Alright, we're doing this again. This is a moment where I wish I had like another screen. she too big. I promise it was actually of size earlier today. If the living can be spoken ill of, why not the dead? I mean, this is actually kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie, it's giving creepy vibes.
Come now, Alice. It's only a dream.
It's not a dream, it's a memory. And it makes me sick.
She has a knife under
Now,
the table.
focus. Wait. You're floating again. Weightless. A cipher. Relax.
I'm in hell.
Forget it. Abandon that memory. It's unproductive.
It's not your
To Wonderland.
This is not your baby Alice in Wonderland story.
I'm trapped. My past.
Sergeant, this girl's badly burned. Call for a doctor.
She'll be all right.
No, Alice. Discard that delusion. Forget it. Go to Wonderland.
I'd rather not, Doctor. My Wonderland's shattered. It's dead to me.
Your preference doesn't signify, girl. Now, Alice, where are you?
There was a first game
I'm
of this, right?
sailing
I think so.
with a friend.
I think there was.
It's different somehow.
This is a sequel.
Things have changed.
Change is good. It's the first link in the chain of forgetting.
What's happening? Are you mad?
I'm not mad.
Rabbit,
That's not right. What's he doing?
is something wrong?
Something wrong?
No, not that.
Don't struggle, Alice. Let the new Wonderland emerge.
Pollution. Corruption. It's killing me. Wonderland is destroyed. My mind is in ruins.
Forget it, Alice. Block that dream. Wait at the sound.
But I guess because it came out like 11 years apart, you
There,
probably don't
Alice.
need to. Like,
Better now, aren't we?
My head's exploded and there's a steam hammer in my chest.
Yes, well, the cost of forgetting is high.
My memories make me vomit. What can I...
Remember other things.
I want to forget. Who would choose to be alone, imprisoned by their broken memories?
I'll set you free, Alice. Memory is a curse more often than a blessing.
So you've said many times, and...
And I will say again, the past must be paid for. Now, before our next session, collect those pills from our high street chemist.
Very well, Doctor.
Lavender Town?
It's my turn to forget, Alice.
Now, Charlie. Your pa was hung for killing your ma who beat you. Let's forget that, shall we? The past is dead, Charlie.
Okay. Boys' room?
Ollie pinched me smalls.
Wear bloomers.
The loo smells awful.
Worse than your room?
Oh, jeez. Shit.
Can't find the door.
Wasting doctor's time.
I deserve my bitter tears. Want some?
right? Still sick in the head?
I'm past a cure. Terminal condition.
This is crazy. This game means well done. It looks well done.
Top the family again, did you? Muck up the rescue? They died in a fire. I didn't. Bloody dodo. Heads in pieces, no doubt. True nutter you are.
She's an orphan.
Mr. Payne had no idea how humble a home could be. If not for my drawings and the photographs, this could pass for my room at the asylum.
Doctor's pet.
Too good for the
I
asylum.
love the music.
Mad as a hatter without the charm. Killed her family.
Who'd want her?
Yo, that's crazy, bro. The stream just started.
Another day, a different dream, perhaps.
Oh. This reminds me of We Happy Few, which, by the way, would be a really cool game to play.
Which particular memory did you have? You know the one. She pops up a corner of pictures of
You like Spoccherini, Mrs. How about Paganini?
So what exactly, what is my goal?
It's outrageous.
Oh, do I follow the cat?
Hello, Puss. Puss, 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 puss. Don't be afraid.
Alright, I guess I follow the Kit Cat. What
Move
the
along,
fuck?
Alice.
My
I
dude
can rate
over
you
there
in
is
just for
being
being
like,
off your nut.
he's being beat up. What the fuck? I'm just a bystander, like I'm just like gonna walk away while this man's being beaten alive? This feels wrong. This feels wrong. Right, so I call it, where did the Kit Cat go? Oh, how'd it get there so
Where's
fast?
that cat gone?
Bro, this game just started. All living things die eventually. Slow creatures remain to always poignant.
Bloody lousy tent.
like a real job. No changing nappies. Better than being a dog's body for orphan. Make someone happy. Save the world. 10 minutes at a
Excuse me,
time.
sir. You look like a discerning gent.
Seems following furry creatures into dark holes has become a habit. I hope it's not a
I get
vice.
it, because she follows the rabbit into the fucking hole. Now she's following a cat into a dark hole. Oh, Jesus!
My stars and garters, Alice Little. Slumming again, are we?
Nurse Witless. What luck. Twice in as many months.
Out on your own? You look frazzled, dearie. Not doing well?
Not really.
Come along home then and look at my pigeons. Pretty birds, like you.
I don't think so. Our last visit cost me several pounds and got me nowhere.
I might recall where your mangy rabbit got to.
Your mangy rabbit.
Still a mess. No surprise. Her kin roasted like chestnuts right before her eyes. 10 years in Rutledge Asylum wasted everyone's time. Dr. Bumby won't do better. Still hauling out her questions. The fire, her memory. I deserve consideration, don't I? Who found her new clothes? Who got her a place at Bumby's? Where'd she be without me? On the streets, selling her backside. Likes my pigeons, though. She's doled out the odd pound or two. But what I know's worth more than that. Kept her secret, haven't I? Heard her say, "Oh, died on my account, I couldn't save you." I've told her my silence is for sale. Cheap. I'm a good sort, really. Not like her nanny, that uppity whore. Or that lawyer fellow Radcliffe took a stupid rabbit. Need money. Warned her I'd tell the coppers if she didn't make a donation to my upkeep. She yells and goes off her head. Days she can't remember her name, what I heard.
Alright. Pigeon coop. Do I get a weapon? The coop really is just a cage, but the birds don't seem to mind. Oh, okay, LT. Oh. Press the right button? Yeah, LT. Interesting.
Nurse Witness, do you mean to harm me? To send me back to the asylum?
I won't say no. I've a thirst you could photograph. Need a drink.
Oh my god.
One mouse needs weapon.
Alright. I guess we're going into Wonderland. Or as I like to call it, hell. Oh damn. It's raining outside, guys. She rain. Oh, she looks different now. Dominoes, dominoes. Yeah, everybody enjoy yourself. Yeah.
Very upsetting journey. But I'm rid of Pris, or whatever she's become. At least the place I've landed is somewhat familiar.
And she rained hard
About
outside.
time, too,
Oh my
Alice.
god.
Blasted cat. Don't try to bully me. I'm very much on edge.
Is that what's the name?
Perfect. When you're not on edge,
Fuck, I forgot the
you're
name of the
taking up
cat.
too much
It's on the
space.
tip of my tongue.
You're no help at all.
But you know I
Mod,
can.
help me out. What's the name of the cat?
Don't frighten myself.
What's the name of the
We're
cat?
necessary,
I need the
thanks
name of
very
the
much.
cat. I forgot the
was
name of the
hoping
cat.
to escape from all that.
From Alice in Wonderland.
Abandon that hope. A new law reigns in this wonderland, Alice. It's very rough justice
It's
all
not Puccini.
round. We're at risk here. You be on your guard.
Because that's, for some reason, the only cat that's coming to mind right now. Veil of Tears. Oh, now I can jump. It really is on the tip of my tongue. I don't remember what the name of the cat is. Can I talk to this dude? Oh, I can't? Okay. Mods, help me out. What's the name of the cat?
You're part frog, Alice, I swear. You jump so well.
Oh, I got a double jump. such a nice, pretty game, honestly. What the fuck was that? Chucky?
If you leap from that table again, Alice, I'll expire. You're 2 times too reckless, my girl.
Amanita muscaria, Alice, is merely a stinky toadstool. A spongy consistency, but poisonous.
I guess I can't go in yet, or something? Cheshire! Cheshire. That's the name of the cat. It's Cheshire. Yeah, no, it does look really nice visually.
I've been down this road before. Good things in small packages.
Cheshire.
Though lacking
My
a
dude has a
bathing
fucking
costume,
earring. Do you see
a
it?
plunge in that pool is in order.
My God, I'm shrinking in this potion. Shall I disappear?
Almost. But the upside is that while smaller, you can see things that are nearly invisible to your bigger self.
Ah, I get it. Right. Forests for the trees. Just the other way round. Short-sighted is more than a matter of perspective.
Oh, now we can go through that door. Is there a way for me to go back? That does look like Chucky, no? Right? I'm not crazy. That looks like Chucky. How do I get back up there? Can I not?
Look how small she's become, all curled up. She's barely there, and Vixen in her hidey-ho.
Oh, there we go. Oh, shit. Is that teeth? Am I collecting teeth? That's crazy. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell the story of the shirt. So, this was given to me by a very dear friend of mine, and I was like, it is my favorite shirt. I think it was like, I got it as a graduation gift, but it was it's such a nice shirt because it has literally every, like, I recognize a good chunk of the formulas on here because they're engineering formulas. Now you see, oh, what the fuck? So, my one question when all of this happened was like, when she gave it to me, I was like, wait a minute, so like, does this mean that if I used it on it, like if I wore a shirt to an exam like it looked like this, right? Are they gonna tell me to take my shirt off? Like, realistically, are they just gonna tell me to take my shirt off, or are they gonna kick me out? Like I'm always wondering, I'm like, what would happen if I did wear this to a, like, you know, to an event? Oh, is that blood? Or not even an event, I mean a test or an exam, and I'm like, are they really gonna kick me out for this? Like, hey, take your shirt off because that's cheating, and I'm like,
and
but
always ready for service.
I don't need to look at the shirt. I don't even really think it's gonna help me. Most exams, like, as you go
I've
older,
not come back here
are
looking
gonna
for a
be
fight.
Really? That's a
they're gonna
pity.
give you a reference
One's
table, so all the
certainly
formulas are already on there. So I'm like, what exactly am I losing, or what am I gaining by wearing the shirt? Oh, that's a really cool blade. Ooh. What was that? But anyways, it's one of my favorite shirts. It's a good sleeping shirt too. I don't think I would wear this to go out.
Flight or fight implies a permanent choice. But flight often just means putting off the fight to another day. Choose your battles wisely, Alice.
Oh damn, I could have broken those shells then when I was doing this level. Why am I collecting teeth? What is the point of this? This is the boss? Oh shit. Oh my god! That is horrifying. Oh, this is like a legend. It's almost like Legend of Zelda. Like, it reminds me of, it reminds me of Twilight Princess. Like, on the...
Ugly, gross, and evil in a single monstrosity.
Hack slash. It reminds me of Twilight Princess. I like the idea. It's a really cool idea. This is probably one of the games I would want to finish, like, on stream. Oh, nice. Oh, shit. Wait, should I go back? I should probably go back. Yeah, I should go back, because I missed the memory back there.
A flower's purpose is simple and immutable. Human purpose is fickle, because it is a slave to memory. Memories must be strictly managed, Alice. Unproductive ones must be eliminated.
Katie Cinderella's live. Why is Katie live? She was on Hey Donna literally like 2 hours ago. I wonder if they're still live. Probably not.
Ah, it's you again, Alice. You may approach.
Why would I do that? You want to eat me?
Yes, well, you taught me manners, and I've lost my taste for mad women. Strictly a porcine diet for me. Everything's better with bacon, don't you agree? Of course you do. Now, there are pig snouts scattered about. I heard a few behind the house. Go
That's an
fetch them
inside
for
joke.
me.
I have a
Take
friend,
care for the pests that block your
one of my
way.
really close
Pepper them
friends,
up if they
almost
do.
like a brother.
They need
His name is
spice,
John Michael.
and you're
And
just the
his entire
girl
thing when we
to
were
season
growing
them
up
for me.
was that he
You'll
loved
find that
bacon.
grinder serviceable.
Why not season your own pig parts?
Matter of priorities.
So there are
My
a number of
alabaster
times where
skin
when I
needs
got him
protection
gifts, it
from the
was like,
disgusting creatures running amok amidst the environs. But one gets
We were all,
peckish.
like,
Look, all you
kids,
have to
you know,
do is
so, like,
listen for the oink, then shoot the
bacon
snout.
and, like,
You may like the
really
results.
weird things
I
were just,
certainly
like, part of
will.
the vocabulary all the time. He's married now. Happy for him. That's cool. Oh, is that a... What the hell? What the hell? Yo, that's creative as fuck, bro. That's cool. It's a fucking machine gun. That's cool. Pepper gun. Not today, Satan. Not today. Okay. That's something I can attack. Oh, no, 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 no! Wait, wait! Damn, that reload. Oh, nice. Keep an ear out for snouts. Okay, oh, oh, is it gonna open that door for me?
Thank you so much for the snout. Now go away.
Break the Dutch spell. Oh, cool. Oh, nice. Oh, there's another snout right there. Oh no. No, no, no. Nope, nope, nope. Not today, Satan. Not today. son of a bitch. Alright, is there another way for me to make it over there? Simple jump. Oh, okay.
Finish your sleep, girls. Bovine juveniles gave their all for it.
Oh, son of a bitch. Wait, where's the net? Oh, down there. What am I supposed to do here? Oh, so now I have to go down? Okay. That's not it either. I don't know what I'm supposed to do around these plants. Alright, I'm missing something. Very clearly I'm missing something here. Like, there's something that I have to do. Oh, there's a pig snout. More dominoes. Louisiana Fest. I know that's Popeyes, but why is that fast? Why is it moving like that? No! Ow. Louisiana Fest. Dominoes. Red Robin, yum. I'm like thinking of just random restaurants where you can be a king, where a kid can be a kid. I need my own Wendy's, like, game. I just need this golden tooth and I want that. Good? Okay. Bro, this is just a tutorial level? Oh, that's horrifying. Slithing Ruin. Okay, I guess we should go this way. suddenly turn into Devil May Cry? Actually, that question should have been answered as, when didn't this become Devil May Cry? Because Devil May Cry literally, like, the 5th game starts in like, it literally takes place in the bowels of a fucking demon. Oh man, you know the drill. Of course I need all the sponsors. No, that's not gonna happen. I should probably go that way, right? So I see a memory there. I should go up here. No, I should go that way. Oh, rip. We died, everybody. Yay! Crisis City from Sonic 06. We don't talk about that game. That game doesn't exist. Oh, but it does, Lawrence. Get rid of it. Oh, but it does, Lawrence. It really does.
Sounds charming, but inefficient. Noise, like snips and snails. Best to forget that train. A mock turtle as conductor? Oh no, I don't think that would do at all.
Chucky? Again? Wait, Chucky, come back. Did this only become a Dungeon Warriors game? Dynasty Warriors game? Like, they just spawned a shit ton of enemies in one fucking location. Which leads me to believe it is really a fucking Dynasty. That would be a really cool idea, though. Like a Dynasty Warriors game, but taking place in the Alice in Wonderland universe. Whoever asked for that, Chucky, come back. I'm asking for it right now.
Atta always hated mechanical malfunctions. This disaster is either his doing or his epitaph.
Looking Glass Railway. Ooh, that was a ledge right there. Chucky, wait! I have questions! Chucky, come back! Alright, this really did become Devil May Cry 5. Alright, now I'm in some sort of desert biome. Oh, I don't know how to fight. Alice can dodge enemy attacks. The music is super unsettling. Damn. Look at all this blood, bro. Die, motherfucker, die! 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 You die! You need to die! I hear another one. Where? You right there? You? Oh, you're dead. Damn, bro. Well, Big Bird, he's dead. Alright, do I need to, where am I going with this stuff? Oh, up there? Okay. Oh, cool. Chucky!
It could have happened that way, Alice. You remember poor Mr. Krug?
Spongy boy me, but these motherfuckers need to die!
Spontaneous combustion, but I trust Mr. Dickens.
Ooh, wow. Look at this. This is pretty. Look how fucking unsettling that looks. That's super pretty. Hardy. Is it? Okay. Look how unsettling that looks. That's so pretty. I love that. Yeah, dude. Wait, let me see if I can grab it. Not the pepper grinder. It is a wallpaper. That is actually really nice. There we go. That's good enough. Well, take your screenshots now. Alright. Call cable car. Screaming. Is that happening outside? Maybe it's just me. No, I hear somebody screaming. I don't know. That's cool. It's a tea kettle. Hatter's Domain.
The Hatter's Domain, almost as I remember it.
Appearances, as you know better than most, can be deceiving, Alice. Much has changed since your last visit.
Dr. Bumby says change is constructive, that different is good.
Different denotes neither bad nor good, but it certainly means not the same. Find the Hatter, Alice. He knows more about different than you.
But does he know more about the difference between bad and good?
Making friends, Alice. You're as randomly lethal and entirely confused as you ever were.
I've managed without you so far, Cat. Return to whatever hovels home to you. I'll call if I need you.
Why are you not doing anything?
It's not a question of if, Alice. It's when. Now hold on, and as they say, shut up.
So typical.
My man watching me suffer, bro. Did she just change outfits?
I've made more graceful entrances. I suppose I must be grateful nothing's broken.
She looks more steampunk. Maybe it's just me. No, she changed outfits, yeah? That's a whole different outfit. I like this outfit, though. That's cool. It is very steampunk. I get it.
Lizzie, remember when a burst of steam blew your dress up around your neck? Just outside Harrods it was. Fortunate your undergarments had been laundered.
This reminds me of Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy for some reason. Die, motherfucker, die! Damn, cut his head off. Okay, cool. What the fuck? Scooby, what they do to you? Is that Scooby or are those birds? Oh, never mind. Okay, they're just birds. They're birds. They're birds. Do I go this way? Must die, Mr. Squidward. Go. with cheese, Mr. Squidward, with cheese. Okay, that is not Scooby. That is definitely a bird being roasted on a spit. You guys just watched me commit murder. In game! For legal purposes, this is just a game. I am in no way, shape, or form actually committing murder. Oh, they're dead. Go back in there really quickly. Because there's this area here. Alright. Ow. Yo, my man's stabbing me with a fork. Yo, die. Okay, so do I... Okay, so I don't need to shoot. Okay. I honestly hoped Resident Evil 5 would work today, but it kept giving me Windows errors. I don't know why. But it failed to install or it failed to start. So I was like, well, the show must go on, and I better fucking play Resident Evil. No more E minor. I'm gonna aim to change my YouTube feed before the end of the night, so I'm probably gonna end stream in an hour or so. So I can take some time to sit down and correct my YouTube feed. Not to mention put together the VOD for all this. Hello? What the fuck? Oh, wait, so I don't need to go there? Oh, now you're moving? Or what? Oh my god. How'd I miss that? How'd I miss it? With cheese, Mr. Squidward, with cheese. Here we go. See, games like this interest me. I don't know. They're just fun to play. It's autosave too. I just have a lot of fun with games like this. Like they're platformer, action RPG, and there just don't exist as many games like this of this genre. I would say obviously something like I'm not just but like Last of Us probably would fit a little bit into that. Oh, am I gonna die to these motherfuckers? Do I have a certain number of lives or something? Like... This is only chapter 1? Damn, bro. Chill the fuck out. Yo, you trying to attack me with a spoon? This motherfucker trying to kill me with a spoon. Nope, not today, Satin, not today. Why would you ask me if I want to continue, but when I fall off the ledge, you're just gonna restart me? Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that logic. I die in both cases. Why do you? No way! Okay.
My heart is open, Alice. Never closed. Never locked. It needs no key.
Oh man, I almost missed that. Go down that way? Or should it go there? I'm gonna try going there. Let's see what happens. Oh, there's, thank God, there's. Explore to my heart's content.
course, like Gibraltar, is impervious to fire, weather, and the indecencies of Barbary macaques, should the need arise.
Cheese, Mrs. Cheese. Alright. Which way do I go? Well, if I make it to that gear over there, then I can definitely make it to that box. Damn. Fucking tooth fell down, bro. It's just like when we were kids. Interesting. Let me go through that door really quick. I knew it was worth it.
I know you hear me, you contrary child. Use the bedpan and let go of that wretched rabbit.
That wretched rabbit. I hear a boar. Okay, so there's a door there. I should probably go with where the snout was leading. Good idea.
Alice was often alone, an interior and lonesome child, I suspect. Her sister, though loving and much loved, was too old to be a playmate.
Unless maybe these chapters are like really short. I mean, really long, and then there's maybe like only like 4 chapters. What does How Long to Beat say about this game? "14 hours. Well, it's not bad though. That's like playing an Uncharted game. About 14 hours. Mario? got, me and my parents, we got tickets to go see Ed Sheeran in June, because he's, for the first time in forever, coming to North America. This is like the first time I think that he's ever toured in the U.S. I don't actually know if that's entirely true, but so we actually did get tickets to go see Ed Sheeran, and like my entire life, that is like one of the biggest things I've always wanted to do, is see Ed Sheeran in concert, because I was like, he only tours in the UK, so I'm like, I'm never gonna see him unless I go to the UK for one of his concerts, and I'd be willing, but it's a lot of work, so it never happened. But now I'm definitely gonna be able to see him. He's gonna be in Jersey, at the MetLife Stadium, which is right next to the American Dream Mall. I'm very excited. That's next June though, so it's gonna be a little bit, but I can't wait.
He's obsessed with time.
Jesus.
Find him, or your own time may be short.
Alright, what's going on here? Oh. No! No, you bitch! Damn. Wait, they timed that shit? Are you serious? I just faded into nothingness.
Brush yourself off, girl. The Hatter should see you at your best, after all.
There we go. I'd love to see somebody cosplay this version of Alice. This is such a good costume. Like, I love this costume. The steampunk costume. No way, dude. Are you serious? Alright. Alright, well, done. do those sliding things, it's like you're not like you cannot go back now. You're done. You're done. You're done. Was that a bomb? Oh, it is a bomb. Mechanics are interesting. Where I started. Bro, I'm still in chapter 1. Long ass chapter 1, to be honest with you. How do I get there? Is there some clues? House?
We'll all roast in our beds, Alice, for the sake of your father's unnatural devotion to printed paper. This horde of flambles wants only a malignant spark and poof, our flesh and blood is smoke and ash.
I just want to finish this level. Because this is weird. Like, not the game. The game's awesome. It's just like... How am I still in, like... in level 1? Oh, is this a cutscene about how my parents' home burned? Alice, not mine. Oh.
Our lovely library was a fire trap. A conflagration waiting to happen.
Kingdom Hearts. Or Fairy Tale. Mario Kart?
What's going to wake? No. Bad dream. A blasted good night.
Just do
Hatter,
that.
I recall leaving you in a decrepit condition, but not in pieces.
Oh, it's you.
What's happened here? You've lost your hat, and some parts are missing.
Missing indeed, though things being what they are. I barely missed their missing. As to what happened, you should know that better than I. It's your place after all. I know my place.
When did you ever know your place, or how to keep it? Now what's going on?
That's going on, and round and up and down, into my ears, and through my eyes, and up my nostrils, down my gullet, and winding in my guts.
Papa was exceedingly fond of trains. I don't like them much.
You won't like this one at all. Nothing like when Mock Turtle was in charge of the looking glass line. This railroad's a bloody shambles. The stink is ferocious, the light blinding, the noise hellacious.
Ah, quite, Hatter. I get the idea. A bad train.
The world is upside down, Alice. Inmates run the asylum. No thanks. And worst of all, I'm left keyless.
Tragic. If I do help, will you help me in return?
Cross my heart, if I had one. Find my limbs and toss them into the chute. Machines will do the rest. Be on your way now, that's a good girl. Best way out is through the croc face.
Interesting. Okay. Am I still in chapter 1? Oh my god. To be honest, I'm not complaining that it's like... Oh, gotta use the bunny. Oh my god. Smelling and regurgitating. Assemblage or destruction. Oh, cool. I got an umbrella.
Until you expire, substantial rewards in heaven. It is better to give labor than receive pay for it. Work paradise. Fight the good fight. Until you expire, substantial rewards in heaven.
What am I doing?
It is better to give labor.
Wait, how do you do that again?
Receive pay for it.
Oh, it's X. Ow. Ow. That does sound like a Call of Duty zombie. Ow. Oh.
to enlighten, brighten the way, but the steps are steep. Take them one at a time.
Has been postponed indefinitely. Payday for bad workers is cancelled. A good worker is a live worker, free to live and work. A bad worker is a dead worker, and vice versa. Don't be a bad worker. Bad workers are slaves and dead. Payday for good workers has been postponed indefinitely. Payday for bad workers is cancelled. Payday for good workers has been postponed indefinitely. Payday for bad workers is cancelled. A good worker is a live worker, free to live and work.
Oh, wait. I didn't see that. I was like, wait, why would they send me to do this? And I'm gonna die.
Is a dead worker, and vice versa. Don't be a bad worker.
I think I have to go in that one first. It's past midnight. Okay. I'm looking at
Is cancelled.
and if I don't finish chapter 1, I would love to finish chapter 1. But this chapter is ending up being much longer than I had originally imagined. This fucker again? Hey, that was not fair. During the fucking cutscene.
Gas laid on, Alice. We'll go to Brighton on what we save on beeswax candles and oil.
Or not. It could just be not. Oh, I just died again. That wasn't working earlier.
The lever
Jeez.
to cool metal.
Scared the shit out of me.
Migrate from motor to cool. Switch the switch.
I think I'm a call it there, actually. I'll get back to this game eventually. Hopefully, maybe next week. You know, we'll have some time. I definitely like this game. It's so fun. It is actually like so fun. But I just, you know, I am still like, it's fun, but you know, it's just it takes a lot of time, clearly, right? Damn, I reached 31 frames per second. Alright, cool. I'm also still recovering a little bit, but it is definitely a fun game. That was fun. Alright, on that note, everybody, we are going to end stream here. Thank you all for joining. I would list my socials, but I think Stream Elements has been yelling to you about it all evening, but either way, follow me on Twitter at RoyalLorenzo, follow me on Instagram at RoyalLorenzoTTV, on TikTok also at RoyalLorenzoTTV, follow me on Twitch so you know next time I go live, YouTube streams coming soon, and follow me on, did I say YouTube? Subscribe to my YouTube channel at RoyalLorenzo, and yeah. Oh yeah, and tip if you feel so compelled to do so. It is greatly appreciated, but it is not required. On that note, everybody, let's see, who are we reading today? We rating Saving the Bees, maybe?
It has always started with the call to serve, fighting.
That's fun.
For our nation. But Marines are never really finished. They serve in
Let's do Saving the Bees. Let's raid. Well, actually, let's go ahead and raid Natsumi, because I know her chat's fun. She's playing with Ray too. Okay, cool. All right, everybody. I am sending you all to Natsumi. Thank you everyone once again for watching. I appreciate you all, and I will see you guys at the next stream. Yay, E minor! Alright, thanks everybody. See you guys next time. Bye!
I'm gonna bait this.
Your duty is not
Shot. Bait it. I'm alive. Top mid. And close. One top mid. They're on A, by the way.